We can go ahead and start.
Copy that.
Okay.
Does that mean we started?
Go ahead.
Oh, we've started. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the April 14th, 2025 meeting of the Open Space Committee of the Town of Barnstable. So I have a notice to read that this meeting of the Open Space Committee is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government Access Channel. In accordance with Mass General laws, I must inquire whether anyone else is recording this meeting. And if so, please make your presence known. Hearing none. Let's do our introductions. Go around the room. I'm Lev Malakoff from Centerville.
Elisa Crowley from Barnstable Village.
Tracy Pratt from Katuitt.
David Goral from Centerville.
Kate Gulliver from Hyannis.
Doug Basin from Barnstable Village.
Farley Lewis from Hyannisport.
Okay.
Zeno, Administrative Assistant.
Thank you, everybody. Have folks had a chance? I'm sorry.
Are we, do
Oh.
we have a new member?
Okay,
Yeah.
so point of order, Dave Goral has been nominated and is interested, and everything's aligned for that, except he hasn't got to the final approval step, which I believe is scheduled for the end of April.
Really?
I think I saw
That's exciting.
a message in that regard, or they're going to try to have that approval. So the town's nominating committee needs to do the process, which has been slowed down during the transition from the old council to the new council. So I guess there was a committee on committees, and they finally are moving forward. So we will have a new member.
Yay. Okay, good.
And we can always hope that that will be in time for our next meeting.
Okay.
So,
Great.
And we have introductions.
Ann Rowland, Centerville.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
So we are now on the approval of minutes. I hope folks have a chance to look at them, and are there any comments or concerns? I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, so moving into our new business topics. The first topic on our list here is the discussion of Article 97. And for folks at home, this is, I guess, part of the state's legislation to protect land, ensure that anything that is being considered with it goes through a proper procedure for changing the status of protected land, and that could be recreation land, conservation land, town landings, a large number of different types of entities. And I believe there was a workshop while I was away, and I think anybody that had to participate in that, I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts on how that went. Okay, Farley?
Yep, I listened in. It was a pretty lively workshop, and I think there were comments made about the tool that you have up there, saying that they wanted to create a user guide for it, so it'd be a little more functional for people to use. And technically, the wetlands weren't available on it. I don't know if that's, I didn't try going on it myself, so I don't know. Then there was comments made about the wind projects, and a lot of discussion about, if you take land and then replace it, it's not really a net zero. That you're still creating some gain or loss of open space. So at any rate, let's see, Okay, so then they were focusing in on a process for a town to follow when changing the status of a property. And one thing they wanted to have is signage up in the location of the property that is, status was being changed, so that the public who's using that property would be notified that there could be a shift in its use. They just wanted the public to be more aware of what was going on. They felt that there was no appeal process to allow the public to challenge bad decisions. Especially as apparently there's a single secretary in charge of the whole chapter, Article 97 and making decisions about it in the end. And they said that shouldn't be just left to one person to make those decisions. So it's felt like, you have to act in the public's interest. And the current secretary has sole discretion on the open space, and also is a member of the Energy Committee, and they consider that to be
Yeah,
a conflict of interest.
I'll say.
Yeah, so, and oversight of projects is not following proper procedure. That was so there was a lot of constructive criticism, I thought, and the state representatives were, absorbing it, but not making any real comments back. They're just taking in the information.
Is there any schedule on when they're gonna vote on whether or not they're gonna weaken the 97?
Yeah, I don't,
97?
that I don't know, because the whole issue was currently you need a 2/3 vote by the legislature to make any changes in the charge for Article 97. So I think Healy wanted to shift that, from what I understand, so that it was going to be a little easier for things to move through.
But public comment
Yeah.
is generally against making the changes that Healy recommends. But there was no discussion about when anybody's gonna vote on this, so it's just gonna slide like everything else?
No, there wasn't, as far as I know, that I didn't get any timeline on that, so I think I could probably go and look at it again. It's a while ago now that this workshop occurred.
Yeah, I tried to go through the website that
Okay.
we received in the link.
Yep.
I'd almost think this tool that you see up on the screen,
Right.
the mapping tool, I think would be of interest to the public. And I would think our website, we could request to maybe have that introduced somewhere, and then people can use it and look at the status of parcels in Barnstable.
Right.
And learn a little bit more about, which lands are protected and how. It wasn't clear from the website. It talked about if you wanted to take an Article 97 parcel and then turn it into something else, what you would have to do, but it didn't talk about how do you get to be an Article 97 parcel initially. So that wasn't clear to me, but the way I understand it is that parcels being accepted for conservation, recreation, or these other purposes, they are then Article 97. So if anybody knows or wants to embellish, I'm learning this process.
Yeah, it looked like, when I was reading it, that's what they said that they've, quote, simplified the process. That it's 4 steps, and the Office of Energy and the Environment, or whatever it is. I know that there's 2 E's. There's a link given that will give easy access to be able to go through the process. Because before it can go through, become a 97, it has to be fully written out and then go up onto the state site so that people can see it if anyone ever looks at them.
Right. Any other input, comments, questions? Not that I have answers, but I'd like to learn.
Yeah.
Chris, do you have anything on Article 97 you'd like to share with us?
No, I know that it was updated recently.
Mhm.
The state level, it's the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental
Yeah,
Affairs.
I knew that energy
Yeah,
was.
you're right, the two E's.
Two.
No, that's a good thing to have on your radar
Okay.
in the open space.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm suggesting that this go on our website and folks in the
Is
public.
that the state's website?
It's the state's tool, but it shows all the parcels in the state and, including Barnstable. So, it's a way to move around within the mapping system and look at parcels and then read about, the different, issues. There's a bunch of layers in there with, all the different, categories of possible environmental concerns. And I think there was wetlands in there, you can flip through and turn things on and off, depending on what things you wanna look at.
Were you able to find the parcel in Weano or Osterville?
Oh, so one of the questions we
Yeah.
had was a particular parcel in
Yeah.
Osterville at the end of Wayano Ave. So we did, if Jenna can click on it, I think it's this parcel right here. And there's 8 different windows to look at, but it's a Barnstable Town landing, according to this system. 135 acres. And there's other information about it in there as well.
That's the baby beach, right?
Baby big.
And I guess the council has taken action regarding this parcel?
Yeah,
And
we do, but yeah, I think we adopted.
so it's been classified now as a town beach, town landing? I mean, there's something that's called now that makes it Article 97.
Right. I'd have to look at the minutes, I'm sorry. I
So
supported it.
this
It was
website
unanimous.
might change, I guess, at some point, once it gets recorded with the registry.
Designation.
We can monitor that. Okay, so, anything else on Article 97?
I just have a question, Chris, if you know, with the baby beach, by changing it, was it changed from a town landing to a town beach?
The town council adopted that it be Article 97. To be honest with you, I don't know the next step.
Thank you.
All right, so, talking now about the open space recreation plan. I do have some information that the planning department supplied me. We've selected a consultant, the BFC group, to work on the update. The procurement is currently in the process of finalizing the contract. And as soon as they are brought on board, the work will start as soon as possible. And the planning department asks, one of the first requests they're going to make to the consultant is what specific information that the consultant's looking for from us. Okay, so we can start thinking about action items we'd like to see included in the new plan, as we've been discussing from the last meeting. So I believe another thing in the meeting materials is an update of the status of the goals from the previous plan. So folks may have had a chance to look at those and start putting on their thinking hats. And we also have any questions thus far about what I talked about before I keep talking too much?
Actually, I have a question.
Yeah.
So under the section 9 that was printed out, is it related to the color codes with green and yellow and red?
What's the question about?
Well, the
The color
accident-
codes.
Color codes for the
Color codes for the highlights.
highlighted areas.
What are
In
the
different
different
colors.
colors?
signify.
I think green meant it was accomplished,
Okay.
and red is,
No, I see.
no, and then there's comments in the yellow.
I see.
It's kind of hard to see on the printout, but it's also in the, when you do it on your computer screen, it's a little easier to read some of it.
There's gray. Thank you for making a copy of this, Jenna.
There's also some gray comments.
Mhm.
For example, I think in the, I think it's in the open space plan that, that the areas around, our well, the zone one, the 400-foot radius around there, around our various wells in the town of Barnstable, the goal was in in a past plan, the goal was to make sure that the town or fire district or water district owns the property in the 400-foot radius of all our wells.
Mhm.
So my question would be, have we done that, and what wells have yet to be protected fully within the zone one? I would think that would be a minimum goal.
Yeah.
So I guess I would ask of the consultant to survey our wells, check what the 400-foot radius is, and are there any parcels that should be targeted for ownership by the town or water district?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the water district folks hopefully have a handle on that. I've talked to Barnstable Water at one point. It's interesting, if you look at the property lines of parcels on Old Jail Lane, they have a parcel across the street. And they said, we had to buy that because that's the 400 feet, even though the paved road goes right through that. But because the rules are, they have to control the land.
Yes,
And it's just, open space.
Understood.
That they, I don't know if they'll mow it once in a while, but, the
But my
road is
point
just,
is-
the road is pre-existing.
understood, yeah. But my point is, we should verify that they're all done, and if not, put them in the to-do list.
Sure.
I'd concur on that, that's probably the most critical land right now is water protection.
Okay. Anything else at this point?
So are these goals from the last, the 2018 plan? Are these goals that the committee, some committee has just come up with, or what are these goals that we have to begin with?
This is from the,
I'm
Oh,
looking
she's
at
only
this
at
thing.
Oh, you're looking at that?
At the bottom.
so this turnout here,
Comprehensive plan.
That one is the one that's taking public comment now, the land use, and there's also the,
so this is part of a local comprehensive plan?
yes.
Okay, so,
Which is different from the open space and recreation.
so there is some synergy and overlap, obviously we're, one of the goals should be, consistent with both plans, or in harmony at least, so, this, I don't know what the timeframe on comments for this document would be, is it coming up real soon?
Open until May 11th.
Okay.
The comment period.
And our meeting might be around that time, so we probably would want to provide comments directly to planning department,
On the website, the LCP, the LCP.
okay?
Actually, Jenna, I don't see that the pages of the actual plan, not these goals, but the pages that I sent to you, page 39 to something where it mentions open space, the language. Is there any comment that committee members could or should make by then?
I can send that around. The only thing that Kyle had mentioned was that that's not able to be changed anymore.
Yeah, it's a draft. So what I'm saying is that's what the public is seeing as a draft. And now's the time to comment until May 11th. So those are the pages that we're referring to open space that I thought would be relevant to, especially relevant to the members here.
I'll send that around.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's a hefty document, almost 300 pages or something like that. But my point is, I think that the process for evaluating the draft local comprehensive plan it's been a big lift, and I think that there's a little bit of, what do I wanna say? Fatigue with dealing with it, and a lot went into it. So now we're coming to the finish line. If there's anything that you want in the open space and recreation plan for our next 10 years, now's the time to address it. For example, I read the section on aquaculture, I have a little familiarity with that. And there was some reference about the degradation of water and its effect on the shell fishery, aquaculture. And it said some reference to, I don't know exactly what, but something to the effect that with the degradation of water quality, there's concern about contamination. I said, I'm not so sure we want to put that word contamination in that context under aquaculture, so it doesn't affect the marketability of our shellfish farmers, because there might be nitrogen loading that affects the water quality, but it's not contaminated with bacteria. So there's different types of pollution, for lack of a better word, that should be discrete in our 10-year plan, so it doesn't inadvertently affect the sale of shellfish grown and harvested in approved waters in the town of Barnstable. Overall, yes, there's concern about water quality and its degradation, but they're closely monitored, and the sale of shellfish grown in the town of Barnstable is healthy, robust, in appropriate areas. I just wanted to make that clear, and that there wouldn't be an inaccurate inference from others reading it with the word contamination. Contaminated with what? You know, so I just said maybe we need to be more precise about how that word is used in that sentence under aquaculture. So I'm just saying, for open space, now's the time to review it, see if there's any suggestions. Just because we float a suggestion doesn't mean it's gonna get adopted, but now's the time to address that. So those, the language in that open space section is worth a look. And it's very timely. And if you wanna look at it in September, it'll probably be too late. So now's the time to do it before May 11th.
All right, we have our marching orders.
So that's one plan, the
That's-
local comprehensive plan.
Right.
Open space is at its beginning. LCP is near the end. So not weigh in on the local comprehensive plan, and there is overlap. So we don't care about open space in the local comprehensive plan.
There's overlap, but what's in the LCP is just a small, open space, it's just a small section of the LCP, and it's not,
Yeah, local comprehensive plan talks about historic attributes in our town, transportation, open space, it's a planning document.
Yeah.
Whereas open space and recreation is just open space and recreation, it's a subset of this, but they all have different timelines.
yeah,
There's, a historic preservation plan, housing production plan, the town has many plans.
I'd just like to mention one in goal 4, number B,
Which are
amend
you on?
on
What
the
document?
land use targeted action plan. I just think Yeah, goal 4, number B, amend the town zoning to require that a new tree be planted whenever a significant tree is removed. There is a national standard that for each tree that's removed, 2 trees are planted, and that's a national standard. And this town is failing in that regard,
That's true.
failing. Drive around Hyannis, drive along historic Route 6A, they've cut down hundreds of trees and planted about 7. So
I think the town got a grant to plant trees,
They did.
mostly
in Hyannis, the 2,400 trees, they've planted a small
Environmental
number of
justice
them
areas.
so far.
mostly in Hyannis, yeah.
But they've planted I went in and asked the town, where did we stand on that? And they said they were looking for places to plant them. Well, I can drive around Hyannis and see places everywhere that should be trees. There are many streets in Hyannis that have 0 trees.
Public property or private property?
Public property.
That makes a difference.
Yeah, public property. The other thing is, in any of our conservation lands, when a property was purchased, there were management plans put in place. We're not acting on those management plans. I know particularly the land along the Treasure Trail, that there was a management plan in place to maintain meadows. It's an environment that we're losing here, and it's all invasive species at this point. And so that I think
point.
that's an issue that we should be looking at habitat maintenance and restoration as critical components of what's happening with thousands of acres of town-owned land.
Actually, I was reading today the local comprehensive plan, and there is a reference to meadows that are maintained. So make sure that's accurate.
I'll look at that. Yeah.
So,
And they're called out. I recall, because I live in West Barnstable.
Yeah.
I saw that it said at the Bridge Creek Conservation Area, and I know behind the fire station, there is a meadow that's maintained for woodcock.
Yeah.
And it's actually the season now.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, that looks right to me, so check and see if there are other areas that need, it's one thing to put it in the document, it's another thing to follow through.
Well, I know on Crooked Cartway, when I recently went on a hike with the Barnstable Land Trust there, and they're maintaining meadows there. But that's watershed land, it's not town of Barnstable land,
Watershed land, what do you mean by that?
where the meadows are.
Belongs to COMM.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's adjacent
What, you're
to,
Talking about water district land,
Correct,
okay.
yeah.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
On this targeted action plan, these sheets, timeframe, what is timeframe? What's that asking for? On the,
With the green bar.
Oh, I see, the far right,
Yeah.
That's like
to be determined, right?
timeframe, I mean like tomorrow?
Yeah.
Or next week, or?
I don't know. I don't know, but the local comprehensive plan was expected to be a 10-year plan, so. Then again, in the 2010 plan, not everything got accomplished. It's aspirational.
When do they think they're gonna have this out? By sometime this year, twenty
What, the
25?
local comprehensive plan? But like I said, I think that it's been going on for a long time, and that the final draft is out for comment. I have a feeling they probably wanna close it up, and I'm assuming, although I don't know, that there's probably not a lot of tolerance for going to extra meetings in the summer.
Yeah.
But that's a guess. I'm not part of that. Although the town council will have to approve of the final document. Right now, there has been a fair amount of public outreach, you know. I think there has been input on it.
Town's done a good
And
job
now,
on that.
now it's time to tweak it now that, like I said, little things, like it struck me reading that the word contaminated sounded like it could deliver a message other than what was meant.
Right.
Or the message received could be different from what was intended. But you can see here, there's 4 opportunities to weigh in on it. I intend to go to the meeting tomorrow in response to it.
So I wonder why there's no meeting in Hyannis. All
There
the
is.
villages are represented.
There is,
Where?
the town-wide community meeting at the high school.
Oh, well, I mean, but every other one, the villages have their own meetings.
No, Barnstable, West Barnstable combined, Marston's Mills
Yeah.
combined, I mean, and the town-wide meeting has got a Zoom link and babysitters and Portuguese and Spanish interpreters. I mean, I think that it's been very comprehensive. Basically, there's 4 opportunities for anybody in the town. It's not, this is a meeting just for Barnstable and West Barnstable tomorrow. It's for all town residents. They're just
So if you had
fanning out.
comments on your own village, you could go to any of the meetings and
Yeah.
make those
They're all
comments.
public meetings. You can go to every one of them. I actually think that the planning department has done a very robust job of doing public outreach for, you know, a relatively dry topic, planning, you know, for the whole town in so many sectors. But if there's something that you envision in the next 10 years, I'll be 10 years older by then. We'll see. I don't know about you guys. But I do think that that would be, what do I wanna say? A good exercise to look at the open space language in the draft local comprehensive plan, especially as we prepare for an overview of the open space and recreation plan. I think that it'll be more in depth as we address the open space plan.
We did receive also one more handout from planning department that was developed in consultation with town staff as far as comments on the 2018 open space plan. Following up on looking at the goals of that plan and what has been accomplished. So I encourage everyone to look through the summaries of progress made since the 2018 plan was finalized. And that could help us also in trying to find our way forward, what still needs to be done.
It looks, a quick review on this. Oh, I see. The first part is on recreation, the second part is on conservation. And I see that there's a reference to chapter 61A properties. And I am aware that the town attorney has been, has a draft plan, just looking to polish it up. Perhaps some of you know, maybe some of you don't, that Karen Nober, our town attorney, has been passed away unexpectedly about a couple of weeks ago. So she had a personal setback in her, so this was in her wheelhouse. And a couple of projects got deferred until she takes care of her personal stuff. But anyways, this is pretty much ready to go. I have not yet seen it, but she's been working on it.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Moving on to walking weekend planning, so we have some interesting products here on the table that Jenna has put together a beautiful flyer. So folks, I guess take some, right?
Right?
And share them to your community bulletin boards or other places in your community that you think folks would.
So this is what we have right now, that's my master list of, I'm sorry, I didn't have enough for everybody, just pointed out a few, but.
I mean, I can make copies. I can make copies.
Thanks, Chrissy here.
But I guess we can talk about it in general, right?
Yeah,
That you've been
so,
receiving
I
input.
mean, we definitely have, I wanted to fill in the blanks here a little bit, because I know that Doug has some walks that he's
I'm
thinking
gonna
about
add.
doing. And you mentioned a walk that you were gonna
Yeah,
put in.
so you didn't get my input? I'll send it again, but
Oh, okay.
I thought I sent you a Joshua Pond walk.
Yes, you did. I think, oh, right, you did.
And it was, I'm flexible on time, but I believe I put in.
I think it's in here, actually. I just didn't write it down on a master list. Yeah, hang on one second.
This is draft. So,
Okay, but when you came in this evening, you mentioned something, else as well.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, I've got it here. I'm
so,
sorry, it should have been
I mean,
included
everyone's
on
getting
the-
copies soon, but I can tell you,
Yeah.
I believe the Crooked Cartway Walk is Sunday, not Saturday.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Who's doing that?
So Terry Downey, got a grant from Spalding Rehab to put in
Okay.
guidance signs. And the New England Mountain Bike Association put in the labor to help install them in West Barnstable. So now there's kind of a mellow walk that you can do or ride your adaptive mountain bike. Because that's Spalding's contribution. They have a program to get people out in the woods on those three-wheelers. But the signs are for, guiding anybody that's wandering through the woods out there. So she's gonna include part of that loop in her walk, but she's also getting some information about the ecology of the area to, make the walk interesting.
Okay, so that changes Sunday for.
Yeah, that's Sunday. I
Yeah.
think I said I could do Saturday. I can do other times, but if you wanna flip-flop
Yep,
that,
2:00. No, I picked,
I'm gonna put it in my calendar.
so let's work with the schedule then. If we wanna make some changes and additions right now, that would be good.
Well, we have our brains together.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll do a Friday afternoon one.
okay.
I think that's, and then on the Meeting House Farm one, I have a conflict now with a memorial service, but I was able to get Tom Walker. I don't know if anyone's ever gone on a hike with him.
He knows everything.
He knows like everything.
Yeah.
So I got him to do the Meeting House Farm walk on Sunday.
Okay, so
Um,
could he do it at a different time?
I'm sure he could, but
Okay,
the, we have multiple walks at 10 o'clock, so what do you think? I
well,
mean,
it would be nice if, people could have multiple choices rather
Oh,
than
okay.
just one or the other,
well, I can ask him, I asked him to do you want me to say 11?
Sure, that seems fine.
Or 11,
Okay,
let me see
so,
if he can do it. The hike that I went on
This
that he
one's
did
at
for the
noon?
Barnstable Land Trust was
Same
fabulous.
No,
time.
this is
It was
a
like the
different one.
best guided
Oh,
walk I
I'm
ever
just trying to
went
put it
on.
on Friday.
Okay.
so,
Yeah, he's like
And this is,
kinda bright.
so Kate, I don't know if you still wanna do anything or not, but it's up to you. I was kind of waiting to hear what everybody wanted to put in, and I haven't heard anything until right now about people's firm plans.
Oh, yeah, as I said before, I can do it Saturday, Sunday, it doesn't matter.
Okay,
And I didn't send you anything probably, but I'm still interested in
Okay.
this one before. I wrote something, but I don't think you said when we were leaving, you have my email and I probably nodded and. Cause then
Okay.
everything got deleted from my phone, so.
okay,
Do you think 3 o'clock is a good time on Friday afternoon?
sure,
Okay,
yeah,
so 3 to 5, and then I'll figure out what I'm gonna
okay,
do.
and this is Doug?
Yeah.
Unknown, okay,
Unknown. It'll either be Barnstable or Hyannis.
okay.
I like doing the Hyannis one, I think it's fun.
Which,
Yes.
what do you do?
I did the 5 beaches, wasn't that fun?
Yes, that was great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I went and asked, they're doing all the work at Calmus. So I went and talked to the guy and it's gonna be ready by Memorial Day, but I don't know if it's gonna be ready by the date of the 16th. The new multi-use path that's going to Calmus Beach.
Oh, okay, I'm not
Yeah.
really familiar with it, but
Oswald Street, that thing.
expensive.
No, it's Ocean. But Gosnold,
Yeah, sure.
they redid the sidewalk the whole length,
Right,
but then
yeah.
they're also, it's going, and they're moving the entrance north from where it is
Oh,
now.
really?
Yeah, it's quite a project.
So what are the 5 beaches? Calmus, Keys, Memorial,
Keys,
Veterans
C
Memorial?
Street,
Oh, C Street.
the little teeny one that's,
Eugene,
which is the little teeny one that doesn't have any parking?
Hyannis?
Yeah, oh, it's gorgeous too.
It's sort of, it was in a
Hawes,
residential.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hawes. I think, is it Hawes or, I think it's, yeah, there's a little teeny beach there, then Calmus, then Veterans. I think it's
So you didn't go
good,
to Keys?
yes,
Oh.
we went down, we started
Street.
from here and went all the way around.
Oh, that's great.
And I think people really like that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, at one time I had like 20 people right there. One of the years I did
Yeah,
it.
that's
Wow.
really.
Yeah,
Okay, well, just to review, at this point, we've got Friday, 8 o'clock, Tracy's doing Santuit, 10 o'clock, Lisa's leading a walk from the woods to the marsh. Also 10 o'clock is geocaching at Hathaway's Pond with Cassie, and 3 o'clock is Doug,
yes.
to be announced.
We're inserting Cape Cod Community College.
Okay,
Nancy
That's
McIver's
it.
doing it's more like their lunchtime where they have people from the college going out, but all the
Okay.
public's invited and welcome to join. That would be at noon
Noon.
on Friday.
okay, great, Forces,
Friday.
yeah. Okay, so can I get the specifics from that?
It's in your email. She's got it too. But I can send it to you.
Okay,
He sent
Some
it
more.
at 4:30 today.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
I
it was,
didn't get it.
it was while you were in transit probably.
Okay, alright. Alright, very good. And then, Saturday, the 17th, starting at 10 o'clock is Reading the Landscape at Bell Farm with BLT. And then,
Not Terry Donnie, left. I'm doing mine at 2 o'clock at Joshua Pond,
correct,
and
Yep.
Terry's is on Sunday.
correct, and I made that scribble on my
Yeah,
less
I've
than
scribbled, I'll give you my scribbles too.
Okay, all right, so
Whatever
just,
works.
we just have those 2 walks on Saturday then. And,
So you could put mine in
okay,
on either day at any time.
okay, so
It's just,
what would you
I'm
like to
right
do?
there. I guess Saturday would work.
Okay, all right, so,
At noon,
Yeah, maybe
maybe
noon,
at noon?
yeah.
okay, all right,
12 and
Catered
2?
lunch,
noon,
Yes, definitely.
lunch snacks?
okay, so
Yes, yeah.
what is it?
Andrew's property, Coons Bog.
Coombs Bog?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I just walked that, it's really beautiful in there.
Where's that?
Where's that?
Well, I'm gonna start it from Old Stage where the land bank properties are the Andrew's property.
By the power plant,
Yeah.
electrical station?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. How
there's
long?
parking there too.
Then there's the woodland area that's part of the land bank. And then it goes down to the bog.
Oh,
So it's it's a little over a mile loop.
So would it be good to do that like late afternoon, maybe instead of noon? Are there more?
Or why don't you do
Burns out or-
like a 4 o'clock or
Yeah.
3:30?
4 o'clock, that would be fine.
Then we go to your house
I like
for
4 o'clock.
happy hour.
Yeah,
Right.
perfect.
All right, 4 o'clock then. Okay, I'm gonna give you my email and you can send it to me.
Yes, please.
Do you want me to write it down or put it on your
2
phone or
hours
something?
Together?
Let's
I don't
see.
know if that would fit in.
Might be different customers too.
Yeah,
I
right.
think the geocaching interest might be different.
Fire.
So I don't know if we lose
FAR.
too many.
Okay.
I
LEWIS.
know she's restricted
Farley
for
was,
Time.
times because of kids and all.
This is recorded,
Okay.
yeah, whatever, we'll try it.
that's fine, I'll write it down for you.
Okay.
And we should give recognition to whoever goes on the most walks, right?
There you go.
Some kind of,
Yeah.
That would be Doug.
That would always be us.
Farley, she shows up at all the walks.
Okay, so, all right, where were we?
We probably want to include a disclaimer about tick protection.
Oh,
Mm.
of course.
Bring
yeah.
bug spray.
Yeah, bug spray. Okay, so 4 o'clock Saturday, Coombs Bog. Then 18th, Sunday, 9:30 in the morning, at Long Pond Pastures Audubon, birding for all. And then,
We'll see if
Let's
Tom
see,
can do
11
11 o'clock,
okay.
I'll ask him.
okay, and then 2 o'clock is Crooked Cartway. Did I get that right?
2 o'clock Crooked Cartway.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Okay,
It
good.
wasn't there Barnstable Land Trust doing walks during this weekend as well?
Reading the
Saturday-
landscape.
Saturday
This
morning.
reading the landscape is.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
that's
that's what
just
they're
the one they're doing?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Okay. So, I don't know, Kate, if you wanna,
It looks pretty full to me.
okay, all
I'll
right.
just go on walks this year.
Yeah, just show up at as many walks as
Now, I
possible.
remember
That's
in my email, there was some idea to do something at the Centerville Cranberry Bog, but I don't know what that could be.
good. I know, that was.
I know, if it's private property.
Well,
Yeah.
it's now private property, it's, the
Mhm.
property's in limbo. I'd be concerned, we don't wanna get into a controversy.
So you'd be walking next to it without walk by it on the street, but I don't know if there's a,
There's not that much
Street to do.
street to walk, it's
yeah.
going in and around.
Did we send as a committee, like we
Yeah.
voted on last time, something to the town, to legal about stepping on it with doing the draft 61A procedure?
I don't think we did that other than have that concern, but
Because we voted, we made a motion to contact legal and tell them to get on it after 4 years and do something. But you're saying they have a draft now of?
A draft for the policies for addressing chapter 61A and B properties
Not this one in particular, just in general.
in general.
Draft, so. Do we have any, did they say why it's taken them 4 years to do this? Do you know?
Probably the same reason it's taken us like 7 or 8 to get
Mhm.
approval on some of our
Yeah.
conservation restrictions.
You saw those names?
We might still have some.
Arju, Emma.
So if it's a draft, then what, the draft is a draft, gets approved by the town council, and then it's finalized? Is that a process that takes a long time, or is it pretty quick once the draft gets submitted?
I think it's pretty swift, pretty quick.
Good, it'd be nice to tell those people who've been very patient.
Anything else, Farley?
Thanks for, Barney, for spearheading this. This is very popular,
Yeah. It's like herding cats, isn't it?
and all the walk leaders.
Oh, that's great.
And if you're a walk leader, please take a picture.
Yep.
And make note of how many folks came.
Mhm.
And then the survey question is, how did you hear about Walking Weekend?
Right.
Walking weekend.
Good idea.
I have found that most people seem to find it online. One way or the other.
So we
Either
better
that
put it
e-news-
online.
E-newsletter
Yeah.
that goes out as a biggie.
Yep.
Should put it in that.
So how is that evolving at this point? We haven't really gotten, we haven't finalized it, it's on our website, so we just have a link, right, until,
Yeah, right now, they're, like the flyer would just bring you to our committee's page.
right,
And then when the brochure is ready, it will be there.
okay,
But in the meantime, this can at least give people the dates, this weekend is when it's all gonna happen.
If this is the final list of walks in order and everything, then I can finalize the brochure.
okay.
Yeah, let
Yeah,
me just
well,
make sure what,
kinda-
on the Friday one, and I'll
Yeah.
get back to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So,
So I guess that, the flyers could go up anytime, cause it does say check
yeah, So
again if
are
we
we
don't have the things.
relying strictly on the town website to advertise, or are we going to send it out?
We did have
Work on some
We did have a draft, I called it a media plan,
Yeah.
2 or 3 meetings ago, and
Yeah.
it's in the suggested locations to send the word out to, and I think Doug, you were gonna look at the Boston Globe?
Yeah, and also there's a site called the Cape Codder. Has anyone seen that one? There's a bunch of those kinds of websites that we can,
Well, it's probably time to,
yeah,
start getting
it's like
that.
CODDAH, the Cape Codder. I don't know if anybody gets that.
No,
Not for me.
and of course, one other thing we all can do with our own constituencies is share,
Right.
the link to any email lists that we work with.
Boston Globe, I hope we don't get overwhelmed. Maybe a better venue would be to the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce or something.
I think when I called them before, we had to be a chamber member. But there are a lot of other, there's all sorts of like little websites that,
So, yeah. BLT is gonna make sure that we're on the conservation newsletter.
yeah, BLT.
Oh, the conservation calendar?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
calendar.
That's a nice,
Yeah, but you have to be a land conservation group to get on it. So, you're gonna, the walk that they're gonna do is gonna include information about the Open Space Committee. So,
Aren't there walking groups on the Cape that have their own little?
The pole walkers.
yeah,
I
so-
They've
can,
got 22
I can remind the
members.
Nordic Walkers again, I've asked them if they would wanna host an event, but they're into their own
okay.
thing. But
They're on Zoom.
I'll certainly give them the information about the weekend, cause some of them might wanna join
Yeah,
in any
okay.
of these walks.
Okay.
And they're welcome to bring their poles, so.
Is that what the idea is? They just use,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exercise, full body exercise, arms and legs going. Okay, we good? All right, moving forward. Old business. Katuitt old business, I think that refers to Katuitt High Ground, which we did approve last meeting, and with Jenna, we got the letter and signed, and it's gone off to its needed recipients. I don't think we have anything on Comicut Woods at this point. Regarding conservation restrictions, I received a brief note back from the legal department regarding the couple that we were interested in, specifically the Prince and Harju conservation restrictions. The legal department says they've received those back from Barnstable Land Trust, which had sent them to the state for another review after our changes. Legal department has reviewed the conservation restrictions, and they have drafted votes and rationales that should be finalized soon for an upcoming town council meeting. So, by our next meeting next month, I'll find out if soon is soon, or if it's
We're
still gonna be soon.
embarking on budget season, so those
Oh, yeah.
long meetings. Hopefully we can dovetail that in.
hopefully, we can sneak in before.
Okay, regarding pathways, the CPC committee has approved some money for a title search. And planning department regarding that title work can take the lead on the procurement. However, legal department is asked to be included in the process, which may delay the request for quotes. So we'll have to find out more as far as that timing. So that's regarding Flint Rock Road, the connections that are in question,
That would be good to get.
as well as Boulder Road, because both of those are potential routes for the main trail of Barnstable. Okay, do we have something regarding Santuit, Tracy?
Nothing much is happening. The herring season has started. There've been quite a few people out on the trailhead. I haven't seen a lot of fish yet, but maybe they're there. They're monitoring, they're counting. The tribal folk have put up a solar-powered fish counter to see what's going on. They've done this for several years, and I haven't seen the result of it, but it's there again, so they should be, finding out what's going on.
Okay.
That's about it. It's wet down there and it's cold.
Great. Okay, Farley, do you have any update from CPC on open space applications?
Okay. Project updates, Smith Creek Conservation Restriction application has been forwarded to town council for public hearing. The high ground conservation restriction has been received from Open Space Committee and Conservation Commission, both approved. And finally, the conservation restrictions for Harshu and Prince Avenue properties have been requested to be placed on the upcoming town council agenda for approval, which we know is
Upcoming.
somewhere out there. That's all I have.
Okay, thanks. Counselor Clark, do you have any more to share with us?
Farley, did you mention the Smith properties?
Yes, I did.
Okay, yeah, that's what's on,
Yeah, Smith
Thursday's
Creek Conservation, yeah.
that's, good news. Making progress.
Anything else from you?
No, other than that those plans open, local comprehensive plan is, I guess on the front burner, and open space and recreation plan is on the back burner too, but, in the works. For October.
Okay.
And I suggest that you give a good look at it at home. I recall, some of you others might recall when we did the last open space meeting, we ended up meeting twice a month through the summer to try to get to a deadline. And if you don't wanna go to summer meetings, do your homework at home.
Okay, well, I have to say that the section 9 handout is really
That's
very, very useful.
Yeah, I think so too.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's really the crux of, the other stuff is justification and history.
I see no public for public comment. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None? We're done.
Thank you.